once again, watchers of good movies, my name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you about The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. This is the second movie in the Hunger Games trilogy, and yeah, we're talking about it. I will be talking about spoilers towards the end of the review, so after the credits of this video. So if you haven't read the book and you watch the movie, or if you have read the book and you want to hear my thoughts on the ending, stay tuned for that. Now, getting right into it, The Hunger Games: Catching Fire takes place essentially directly after the events of The Hunger Games. We have Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark. They are basically starting off the movie going on their victory tour, in which they go to all the 12 districts and essentially just give a little speech, and then just acknowledge the families and all this type of stuff. This is where the first conflict of the movie starts up, because we have Katniss and Peeta, who are very much against the Capitol, which is the basically head of the government, and President Snow, and they basically go off. They do not read off what they have written on their cards. They kind of improvise, and they mention the families of District 11, and particularly for Katniss, for Rue, and who was the little girl who helped her out in the first movie. That's essentially the first conflict which erupts, and from there, it's the Quarter Quell. It's the 75th annual Hunger Games, and to kind of put the victors back into their place, more or less, President Snow decides to make this year's Quarter Quell, bringing back all the victors for another Hunger Games. They basically have to kill off each other after they've already been through this whole thing at least once. That's more or less the plot. I don't want to get into too many spoilers right off the bat, just because I don't want to give anything away. But acting-wise, Jennifer Lawrence, amazing job. She's now an Academy Award-winning actress, so she's great, as usual. Josh Hutcherson, he does a very nice job as Peeta Mellark, and Liam Hemsworth, he portrays Gale, who is Katniss's other love interest. It's essentially a mix between Peeta and Gale most of the time, and you can't really tell what one she's really all gung-ho for a lot of the time, because I think she tells herself that she wants Gale. There's times throughout the movie where you can tell there is some sort of affection there for Peeta. So it is a really interesting thing. In terms of how well it was done in side by side with the book, it is actually a really, really well done movie. It's much better than Ender's Game was, in my opinion. It actually follows the book really well. As far as I remember, now I haven't read Catching Fire in about 2 years, but from what I remember, the movie didn't really leave out anything immensely crucial. It kept it going at a very nice pace. It spends about the first hour of the movie outside of the Quarter Quell, so it does give a good chunk of time to events that are happening before the actual arena, and that spends about an hour on the arena itself, which I was really happy about. That they just rushed through it, quickly split about half an hour, and then throw them into the arena for the majority of the movie. They kept it well paced, and I was really happy about that. There's numerous other good actors in this movie. There's too many for me to list off and remember, but they all do a really nice job, and it's a really good movie. The special effects are really, really nice. They look realistic and all that type of stuff, and it's really just a well done movie. This is probably my favorite out of the two that are currently released. It was my favorite book out of the three, and definitely go check it out either over Thanksgiving weekend or even now in your theater. So, but if you're a huge fan of the book, you probably have already seen this movie by the time you're watching this review. Yeah, that's my initial thoughts on The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. I definitely recommend it, especially if you've already seen the first one, or if you have read the trilogy. Definitely go check it out. It's well worth your time. Like I said before, I'll talk about much more detailed synopsis of the film and my thoughts on it after the credits, which will be rolling in about a minute. And so if you've seen the movie, or if you don't care about spoilers, stay tuned for that. But like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. Check out my podcast at thediscussionpodcast.blogspot.com. The name might change every so often, so check the description below for the most updated version of it. As always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching. If you are still watching, you are here to see my thoughts on the rest of Catching Fire, in particular the ending. Like I said before, a lot of the scenes that were done in this movie are really, really well done in terms of how it compared to the book. Just like everything was just basically from the chapters of the text, from Katniss going into Haymitch's house and throwing water on him, to Peeta and Katniss's talk on the train, to the victors all uniting against each other, to when Katniss is doing some training and making allies and all this type of stuff. And then even in the games themselves, really accurate and really well done. It was stuff that I really, really liked, and stuff that I enjoyed. Now, with the ending, since it is just like the book, and I've read the book, and so I knew it was coming, obviously I knew it was coming, so it wasn't a huge surprise. That being said, it was still done in a very good way in terms of how we have this plan that's going to happen where they're going to electrocute the tree and take out all the opposing victors. It goes awry, they get attacked, and Katniss essentially sacrifices herself in order to shoot down the force field dome that is keeping them trapped when the lightning strikes, and it causes the whole system lose power, and for an evac ship to essentially break in. And she wakes up, she finds Haymitch, Plutarch, and Finnick all standing around talking about her, and they tell her that this is the rebellion. This is essentially the thing that she has started unwillingly, and she has given the people hope. And essentially sets up Mockingjay, because Gale tells her that there is no more District 12 because of the things which occurred in the games. He was able to get her mother and Prim out, and besides that, the whole of District 12 is destroyed. It's gone. It's just like District 13. And I really liked at the very end when the screen went blank, we have the Mockingjay. It's encased in its pin, and then it just kind of springs open and is freed, more or less, and it sets up Mockingjay. I was almost expecting them to show like a really quick 30-second thing for the Mockingjay movie, which I think would have been really neat. But regardless, it should be a really good movie. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do the whole rebellion thing without the games instilled into it. Yeah, still looking forward to it. You can check out my review of Catching Fire, the book, up here somewhere. As I said before, check out my podcast called The Discussion Podcast, which I do with my friends, down in the description. And like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose, because I would appreciate it immensely. And that's about it. As always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.